Welcome to FTB Fridays for Friday, March the 26th, 2021. I am your host, Jason C. McLean, and I'm joined by Don McSweeney. Welcome back, Don.
Hi, thanks for having me back.
Thanks. And just like the last time, we're going to sort of do a gamut of news stories, not just one topic. I'll just say this, though. It's currently, we're recording this Thursday evening. It's 7:39 p.m. On the 25th. So in case anything develops in any of the stories we're talking about, we don't mention it. That's why. But let's jump in right here in Quebec. There's new laws coming into effect regarding vape cigarette products. They're federal laws and provincial laws, and basically they're stemming to restrict all flavors except for nicotine and I believe maybe menthol, but no fruity flavors, and also lower the amount of tobacco of nicotine in that. So tobacco and menthol, and lower the amount of nicotine in that. What do you think of this, Don?
I'm unimpressed, sir.
Unimpressed.
The age old think of the children. The excuse has been that these things are too attractive to children, even though they're sold in stores that are for 18 over. Whereas, alcoholic beverages flavored and packaged like soda is regularly available at my all ages grocery store. I need everybody to stay out of my business and let me choose my own vices. I don't understand. I don't understand.
Yeah. Now, just to clarify, is there any actual difference in health risks between, say, a strawberry flavored vape or a tobacco flavored vape?
No, and like the petition online was pointing out, is there continues to be a whole lot of black market THC and CBD vapes that are just made and sold on the internet. Those are made out of and they have no regulations and they make people sick. So you should buy your things from an established, safe vape shop that's regulated by your federal government, but not to my flavors.
Yeah.
If somebody told me tomorrow I couldn't have Dr. Pepper, I would be unimpressed.
You would be unimpressed. And it's but the same point too, would you stop vaping Dr. Pepper, or would you just go online and order it from the States, for example?
I will be going online and ordering it, hopefully from another Canadian place, because that's the other thing, is this is going to affect small businesses and everybody is just going to turn to online. Yeah. It's silly. You're just driving your money literally away.
Yeah.
You would think this was an opportunity for them to collect money. We're Quebecers. We love vices. We love getting everybody to the vice store of our choosing to go and spend and get taxed. And for them to just be like, no, this one's a bridge too far when cigarettes are still perfectly legal and allowed is bananas.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Is it kind of that? It seems like that they're putting as many restrictions on vapes as they are on cigarettes. What
are the restrictions on cigarettes?
Well, you can't, for example, I don't think you're not allowed flavored cigarettes, and you can't advertise.
Has anybody ever proposed the strawberry cigarette?
Not to my knowledge. And
besides, it's prime times. You can still have black cherry things. Like, that's what I'm saying, is for every vice, there is an adult expression that they could choose to have. And this seems like a weird one to try to interject and draw a weird line on. And it's going to put small businesses out of business.
Yeah.
And it's not going to stop people from vaping.
But do you think maybe it's to help the tobacco companies? A little conspiracy theory
there. Sometimes I think that, because I didn't check the overhead, but maybe they're making more money off of cigarettes. Maybe the cigarette lobby is still just a thing. Like, I don't understand why they wouldn't just let it exist.
Yeah. And you
have to be over 18 to go into the store.
Yeah. You don't have to be over 18 to go into a dep.
No. You don't.
Do they sell vape products at deps? I don't think they sell. Do they sell vape products?
Funny story. They sell a couple of the main ones. This is interesting because during lockdown, this became problematic for me. I was left with very few vices and or pleasures. And as a result, where the fact that my vape shop was closed was kind of crushing to my soul. But they do have the jewel pods, which are extraordinarily high in nicotine and tiny, super expensive. And these new ones called Views, which smell kind of funny when they burn and are cheaper, but I don't understand this. So they do carry 2 cartridge disposable ones, but they don't carry the juice.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
But so why is that a loophole?
Yeah, well, the whole regulation regarding depths and what stores can sell, what stores can't sell when they're like Xing off certain parts of the things, it didn't make sense. So moving on, before we move along, though, you are going to be writing about this vape story on Forget the Box, but it's sticking in Quebec and regulations. We're still under curfew. It's extended to 9:30. They just announced that a bunch of that high school students are returning fully, and this in time for Easter and Passover. The church services are going to be, or religious services are going to be allow up to 200 people.
All houses of worship as of Friday, the 26th, houses of worship can have 200 people, even in red zones. Meanwhile, it is still illegal to have somebody from a different address visit you outside your house.
Yeah. That's it. It seems like, I mean, I guess, well, they are also opening movie theaters with no popcorn.
Well, my first inclination was to have a bunch of people over and dare them to question the way I worship, but I don't have the time or energy really. But yeah, it's very nebulous, and I think once again, religious groups have a lot of sway. Somehow they also manage to be tax exempt, so somehow the government does their bidding for free.
Yeah, and schools have a lot. Well, not schools, but Legault's a view on it's important to keep schools open at all costs has a lot of say. Like he's bringing a bunch of kids back to high school now. But what the strange thing is, what doesn't seem to have a lot of say is what I think everybody wants, which is just to be able to have a few people over.
This is what I'm saying.
But I guess we don't have a collective like everybody does a certain thing. Maybe that's why. Okay, so yeah, so that's happening. But one good thing though is I see that the pharmacies are now 350 pharmacies on the island of Montreal are now going to be giving out vaccines or like giving vaccines. The vaccine age is down to 60. Legault says everyone's going to be vaccinated by Saint Jean. Do you think I think he actually might be on track with this one.
I know people who have the vaccine, and I know people who are complaining to me that they haven't been able to get the vaccine, even though they're in groups where they feel they should have. Don't show up at your pharmacy and try to get a vaccine, please. You still have to book it online. I'm so nervous for the pharmacists who are going to have this problem. I do notice in my my day job getting a lot of calls. People are really concerned about the AstraZeneca vaccine. Take whatever vaccine they give you. And yeah, as it opens up and more vulnerable people are getting it, hopefully we'll all have it in no time. Yeah. It's just funny. I was at Tams this weekend, and I mean, spring is in the air. So it's not whether or not we're in a bar together. It's Montreal is looking to hook up, and it's just, there's nothing as it can stop it. The sun is out, the guns is out, and
the curfew at night though. Like, what about,
so people are just going to sleep over.
Yeah, I guess.
Or people will just hook up and trade germs during the day, but nothing is at this point of any season really going to stop Montreal from finding a way.
Yeah. Well, one thing I know was last summer, like when restrictions were loosened, I didn't really go to, like, what I really did for enjoyment is I would hang out with people in parks. We have a few beers. No one would bug us. We have our beers at the table, and that would go to like 1, 2 in the morning sometimes. So like, that's the thing where I see like a curfew really being a sort of a downer on.
You don't understand. You just got to start earlier, Jason.
You're right. Yeah.
Because the same thing. I've been adhering to the rules, even when I've said no to a lot of people to hang out. So I know that not everybody is doing so, even when they really feel that they are having their best intentions. But yeah, I look forward to them loosening up on this hanging out stuff.
Yeah, that's the key thing. That's the one thing I love doing is my social life. A lot of it was parties, house parties. Yeah, I prefer that to the bar. I mean, I support bars. Sure. I mean, some bars I love, but like I support the business. But like, yeah, house parties. That's where it's at.
Just chilling with people.
Yeah, so people are changing things and changing style. The neighborhood in Mile End is actually changing a lot, and there's been a lot of stories in the news about Shiller Lavy, the company that has basically been buying up a bunch of different businesses there and sort of evicting a lifelong business. For example, they tried to evict a bookstore owner, S.W. Welch, I believe it is.
It is, yeah.
And he managed to stay because there was an outcry. And you went to a protest.
I did. It was a protest book sale, which is my favorite kind of protest. It was a read-in. It was organized by Mile End Ensemble. So follow them everywhere. They're looking to do great things now. They were really motivated by this Shiller Lavy situation, because I mean, it couldn't have been better if you were writing a Disney villain, right? So he tried to do his defense of his statements while in Florida during a pandemic, and then proceeded to say, do people still buy books anyway? So they put that on bookmarks. They printed it on bookmarks. There was a great turnout. It was super fun. Everybody was masked and safe and happy, and there were children and balloons, and we bought great books. And I actually hadn't been to SW Welsh since it had moved off of Saint Laurent when I was just a wee one. So it's still curated goodness.
It's still, and the thing is, people buy books and the local community buys it. The problem is that he can definitely afford the rent he has now. He just can't afford like a quadrupling increase that these guys want to put. Because that's their thing. They come in, they buy the place, they quadruple the rent, they get the local business out, they bring in some chain. Or
they don't bring in a chain and they just leave it empty to rot, which is just also happening time and again.
Yeah, because Quebec, I mean, like a lot of times, like rental, like residential laws in Quebec, they're pretty tight, but commercial rental laws in Quebec, it's insane. People can do whatever they want. Like landlords can do whatever they want. Like,
don't even get me started on the housing market. That can be next episode.
That's that's a whole story by itself. And I guess finally to close off here, a sad note for those of you fans of Arrested Development, I guess pour one out or cheers to Jessica Walter, who passed away, sadly.
She was a bad bitch, much respect. She was funny, strong, and don't forget, she was also Archer's mother in Archer, and just lent so much to that animation. And also, I just found out and didn't know, she was the mama on the Dinosaurs, the old 90s, I guess it was, sitcom where everybody was
not the mama.
She was the mama.
Lucille Bluth was the mama. Wow. She's of course mainly known as Lucille Bluth. And I think, like, here's some money, go see a Star War. I think I will. No, that's my favorite line from Arrested Development. There's a few others.
My favorite line of hers is of Bluth is just her with the martini glass, just looking like it's just, she was so nuanced. She was in Hollywood for about 50 years, I think I read.
Yeah,
and you know what's crazy is she's such a character that I didn't know her real name. So when I pulled it up, I was expecting to see somebody I didn't know, and then I was like, Bluth.
Yeah, wow. And were they even planning? I know they did like their last season. Were they going to do another season? I guess not now.
There was always talk about it. A shout out to the grandfather from the Goldbergs who died like yesterday, which I also watched. I know him.
Yeah, no, it's I mean, obviously it's sad when anyone does, but celebrities, like, it always we feel have a personal connection to them. It's a bit more, but happy note. It's now Friday for those of you who are watching this, maybe not so much for us. So the weather's still nice. Go out and enjoy it. We have some suggestions, even online arts you can watch at night when you get back after the curfew.
Shout out to the Mac has the Leonard Cohen display online for free until 2024
for all of Canada for free. I saw that in person, but
also me too. Also, Tams is likely to be rained out this weekend, so we'll see you at the mountain week after.
All right. Well, Dawn, thank you very much for joining us. People can follow you on Twitter because you're an author at McMoxie. Read you on Forget the Box. You can follow me at Jason C. McLean, and of course you can give us a like, share, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Ring the bell for notifications. You can like and share this on Facebook. You can get our Android app. The iOS one's still coming soon. And of course, for daily content, you follow us on Twitter at Forget the Box. And for daily content, go to forgetthebox.net. And we'll catch you next week for another FTB Fridays.